A pleasant good night. Fellow Virgin Islands and friends, my name is Serene Descent. And now, I introduce to you a man who really needs no introduction. A man with a name known in every household in the BVI. A man who has climbed the heights of achievement, but yet remains humble and approachable. A man who listens and who cares. Who is known throughout the land for his compassion, kindness, and integrity. The right leader at the right time. Dr. D. Orlando Smith. You know him. You know this man. You know his family. He is married to his wife Lorna for 30 years and has 3 children and 5 grandchildren who are the apple of his eye. You know he comes from a long line of hard-working people. His is the generation that knew what it was to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, every morning, to help his family in their business before going to school. You see him now. You see him as doctor. You see him as premier. But what you don't see is a young boy who headed to Cox Heath every week to help his father shift his cows. You don't see the teenager who helped his father build houses and boats in order to put food on their table. The child is father to the man, and Doc has never lost work ethic forged during his childhood, thanks to brother Josh and sister Eldra. He traveled far, and he has come a long way from the barefoot childhood. He's got letters behind his name. He's a member of the Order of the British Empire, but he's still that hard worker. And now he's working hard in your service to make the BVI a better place to live. For you, for me, for everybody. Dr. D. Orlando Smith went to the BVI Secondary School, as it was then called, before going on to the University of the West Indies to earn his Bachelor of Surgery and Bachelor of Medicine. On his return to the BVI in 1971, he worked for a year as a medical officer. He then attended the Royal College of Surgeons in Edinburgh, Scotland, where he qualified as the territory's first local general surgeon. Those were the days when the general surgeons did everything, including obstetrics. Hundreds, if not thousands, of the babies born in the territory during that time were born under his capable hands. But Dr. Smith knew that this country needed him, not just as a surgeon, but also as someone who could lead the medical service forward. 9 years after his appointment as medical officer, he became the territory's first local chief medical officer. He served in that post for many years, taking 1 year off during that time to pursue a master's in community health at London School of Hygiene. Doc was first elected to the Legislative Council of the British Virgin Islands, now called the House of Assembly, in the 1999 general election as the head of the newly formed National Democratic Party. In 2003, Smith led the NDP to victory, defeating the ruling Virgin Islands Party, which had been in power since 1983. During that term, Doc and his team made education free for locals at the H. Lavity Stout Community College because they knew how important education is for the individual and for the territory. Other initiatives from that first term in office include the establishment of the National Business Bureau, which is now resurrected and alive again during his second term after being closed down by the VIP. What perhaps history will reflect as his most important and long-standing accomplishment during that term in office was the negotiation of the 2007 Constitution. It is one of the most advanced constitutions in the overseas territories. He led the delegation to London. During his second term as the leader of our beautiful islands, he has made reversing the economic downturn his highest priority. That means investing in the tourism sector and in the financial industry. It means shoring them up, finding new markets for tourism, diversifying the offerings, making new connections for our offshore financial industry. It's a lot of work, but remember that little boy who would get up before daybreak to do what needed to be done? Doc is doing it. One of the first things he did on assuming office was open BVI House Asia to raise our visibility and strengthen our position in that part of the world. China is a global economic force to be reckoned with, but we won't be left behind because Doc and his team recognize the trend. The BVI is the first Caribbean country to open an office in Hong Kong. What does that say about forward thinking? Doc doesn't know anything about being reactive. He and the entire NDP team are proactive. Look at Crafts Alive. Do you remember what Tent City looked like? And what about the cruise ship pair? They couldn't get it done, but Doc and his team got it done. That's leadership. That's teamwork. Doc is the man who's leading the team that works hardest for our beloved BVI. Doc is the man who has returned the BVI to a sound financial footing. Brother Josh and Sister Eldra taught him well. You don't live above your means. You save for a rainy day. You don't spend recklessly and without thought to tomorrow. In 3.5 years, our reserve funds went from 7.45 million to 44.6 million. Ladies and gentlemen, do you know what that means? That means the Treasury has just under twice the money than when Doc took office. That means we now have a safety net. If troubles befall us, God forbid, we will be in a position to help ourselves. But you know what is the greatest and the best thing about the money Doc has saved for the BVI? Not one civil servant was laid off to do it. Let me say it again. Unlike in some other islands and countries, nobody lost their job because the government had no money to pay them. The country didn't stop short. The work of moving this country forward continued. The technical school was refurbished and expanded. New road paving machines were bought. A new visitor center was built on Jos van Dyke. The Emerging Fellows Award was started and grew. Entrepreneurs received training, funding, and other support to make their dreams come true. Ladies and gentlemen, Peebles Hospital was completed. The cruise ship pier expansion was completed. All under the steady and capable hands of this man. This man, Dr. D. Orlando Smith.
Good evening, my fellow Virgin Islanders and friends. I am your humble servant, Dr. D. Orlando Smith, Premier and Leader of the National Democratic Party. Firstly, I want to thank Serene for her gracious introduction. Serene and her colleagues in the National Democratic Party Youth Movement and the young people of this territory give me great confidence that the future of these Virgin Islands will be a bright one. They give me the energy every day to keep working as hard as my colleagues and I do to keep moving this territory forward. Ladies and gentlemen, over the last 3.5 years, we have worked tirelessly at home and abroad to bring the territory back from the brink of disaster and return it to a path of growth. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight I'm exceedingly pleased to stand before you and state without fear of contradiction that at home and abroad, the BVI is standing tall again. That is why my colleagues and I on this 2015 National Democratic Party slate say over and over again, NDP and you making progress together. This evening, I want to use my time to speak to you and all those who are listening at home and via the internet globally, and those who will view this launch on TV later, about the many areas of progress this territory has seen over the last 3.5 years. First, about the economy. As you know, one of our primary objectives of the government on taking office was to grow the economy, and we have done just that. Fellow Virgin Islanders and friends, it takes a strong economy to provide us with the revenue to run the territory and to create opportunities in the private sector. It also takes a strong economy to do the infrastructure works, pay for the social services, and maintain a cadre of well-trained civil servants to deliver those services. Tonight I'm pleased to report that the BVI's economy is growing again, and that if we continue on this level of growth, our GDP will soon return to the billion-dollar level it was when we left office in 2007. Our reserves, what is actually our rainy day savings, now stand at $44.6 million. Our annual budget is in excess of $300 billion. Our overnight tourism has grown a whopping 10% over the last 3 years, while our cruise tourism has returned to positive growth for the first time in more than 4 years. Fellow Virgin Islanders, that is why today we can again borrow to build a new cruise pier, fix our roads and sewage, and build a much-needed medical center in Virgin Gorda. In one of the important areas of the economy, with the completion of the McKinsey study, we now have a roadmap for the continued development of our financial services sector. This is critical to our economy because that sector contributes 60% of direct revenue to government. One of the areas where we have made great progress, and one that gives me much pride, is the reestablishment of the National Business Bureau. The Bureau is designed to assist our people in getting into business, helping them to own a piece of the economy. To date, we have made loans in the sum of $1.2 million to 15 persons, and we anticipate that this will grow substantially over the next several years. Turning to the area of social services, no one can honestly deny the territory's substantial progress in this area over the last 3.5 years. We have completed the opening of the People's Hospital, a new People's Hospital that is. We have broken ground on a much-needed new Iris O'Neill Medical Center in Virgin Gorda. We have also established a relationship with HEMA in Puerto Rico and introduced several new services in the area of telemedicine. We have established facilities in the new hospital to better take care of our mentally challenged brothers and sisters. Fellow Virgin Islanders, one of the crowning areas of progress and achievement has been in the area of education. Training and personal development for our teachers is a must in order that our children, the future of these Virgin Islands, are adequately prepared for their future roles. Through the Ministry of Education and Culture, we have introduced a continuous professional development program for teachers throughout the territory, as well as a licensure program for principals and senior teachers in both the public and private schools. But perhaps the most prominent achievement in education was the establishment last year of the Virgin Islands School for Technical Studies. The first truly technical high school in the territory. In a similar manner, we have introduced tourism and financial services to the curriculum in our secondary schools, and no one can forget our national song. Good infrastructure is the basis for a strong economy and for improving the quality of life of our citizens. In this area, we have made real progress. For the first time in recent memory, as a territory, we have taken a holistic approach to addressing the many issues affecting our infrastructure. Considerable work has been done on the vexing national issue of sewage, both in our capital, Rotong, and in eastern Longlook community. That work will be continued with installation later this year of treatment facilities in both areas. The availability of potable water has also been seen significant improvement with the expansion of the distribution system designed to cover more areas of the territory, especially on Tortola. Our major roads are undergoing what can only be called a transformation, as evidenced by the completion of the road between the bridge and Paramtang. This roads project includes all of our major islands from Anegada to Johnson Dyke. In the area of electricity, we anticipate that Phase 5 will begin shortly, addressing our long-term needs to the expansion of this vital service. Ladies and gentlemen, the NDP and you making progress together. In the British Virgin Islands, there can be no tourism without the environment. Hence, the ongoing protection of the environment cannot be overstated. This government has been steadfast in its work to protect the environment over the last 3.5 years.
Yes.
The passage this year of the Climate Change Fund legislation will be critical to the long-term management of our environment as global warming escalates. Much work has also been done in the area of improving our fishing sector and assisting our fishermen. The management of our beaches has also been enhanced, and a perfect example of this work is what has been done at Long Bay Beef Island Beach. We have also added a number of new swimming areas on our critical beaches, such as Cane Garden Bay, which more cruise ship operators are now using. Ladies and gentlemen, leadership matters. Our vision for the future builds on two streams: the development of our current endowments and assets, and the incubation and the development of new and innovative ideas. As in any progressive society, we recognize that more important than the immediate vision of our leaders will be the ability to recognize and capitalize on the best ideas of their own people and others from outside their community. In the meantime, we will therefore move immediately to develop our international airport, repair and rebuild our current infrastructure in telecommunication, roads, water and sewage and energy, facilitate the easy movement of people between our islands, a ferry system that is built by a partnership of the private sector and the government of Virgin Islands, but run by the economic transfers gained by the private industry. A world-class hospital must be developed more to provide first-world health care not only to our own people, but to individuals from near and far who would like to benefit from a healthy climate, conditions, and beautiful scenery. Continue to progress and develop the BVI as a world-class arbitration center. Aggressively catalog and refurbish our historical sites, simultaneously reminding our people of their history and showcasing a proud and deep heritage to our visitors. Develop the Age-Loving Historic Community Campus and curriculum to be a center of thought and excellence in culinary art, financial services, and global business services. These things, we believe, will give us the foundation for the next level of progress in the BVI. Now our relationship with Britain. Fellow Virgin Islanders, one of the critical relationships that this government had to work hard to improve was our relationship with Her Majesty's government in the United Kingdom. I have worked tirelessly to foster a strong relationship with Her Majesty's government because they are our partners as we continue to develop the territory. I am pleased to say that this relationship is strong and is based on mutual respect. Because of our efforts in this area, we now have been able to continuously secure Her Majesty's government's support with our annual budgets and the requisite approval where necessary for any borrowing we have done over the last 3.5 years. We will continue to build this relationship, always fighting for what is in the best interest of the BVI without hesitation. My fellow Virgin Islanders and friends, the work we have done over the last 3.5 years was not easy. We did not get it done by ourselves, but with the critical support and patience of you, the people, and our hard-working civil servants in the private sector. To you, we say thank you. Much work remains to be done as we build on the solid foundations we have laid over the past 3.5 years. We need your continued support to complete that work. This work is not about us. It is about the future of our children and our grandchildren. It's about these young people who introduced me this evening. It is about our seniors and ensuring that they are well looked after in their golden years. It's about building this little nation to be the best it can be. I need your help. We need your help. The BVI needs your help so that together we can move this territory to new levels of prosperity for our people. I need you to go out in your droves on Monday, June 8th, and return the National Democratic Party to office so that we can continue to work for you. Ladies and gentlemen, the past 3.5 years, we have worked hard for you, and action speaks louder than words. The National Democratic Party working for you. The National Democratic Party and you working together. Ladies and gentlemen, on June 8th, I want you to go to the polls, go early, make sure you're there before the polls close, and vote for the National Democratic Party all the way. Tonight, I especially want you to concentrate on these young men behind me. Mr. Byron Warren. He's done more in education than anybody else done in 2 or 3 terms. Mr. Ronnie Skelton. If you want to get anything done quickly, go to Ronnie Skelton. He get it done for you. And Mr. Archibald Christian, the conscience of the NDP. The man who speaks the truth and supports all of us. And of course, your humble servant. Thank you so much. Okay.